First off, I just wanted to welcome everyone. We thank you for joining us in this webinar or the Zoom call. Basically, we wanted to make sure everyone knows this is a very casual conversation. We try making this geared towards you guys to answer a lot of questions that you might have. So we'll give a little brief update. Assume that you might have seen some of the webinars in the past that we've done on this product, and leave it open for a lot of questions and answers at the end. So before I forget, and I always do forget, please use the Q&A in the Zoom product for any of your questions. We don't go live. We kind of answer them as we go. So if you have questions now, go ahead and start asking those questions, and we'll get to them either during the presentation or at the end. We'll answer them live or through typing. So please go ahead and just start with your questions and answers as you see fit. First off, let me introduce myself. I'm Craig Mirambell Realty. I'm a broker owner. This is Ginger Wiggins with Coldwell Banker. She is a manager, and Latanya LeBranch with Weichert Realty. We are all realtors, brokers, managers, agents. We're volunteers with the boards and with this Roam product. So we're just like you guys. We're looking out for your best interests as well as ours as a whole representation of the nearly 8,000 agents that are inside of Gsrein. So just keep that in mind, and we're here for questions now, and as well as phone calls, text, emails after this presentation. If you would like any of us to attend any of your office meetings, if you want to speak to your brokers and managers and have us come in, we're glad to come into your office and have the presentation given to you live or through Zoom. So just keep that in mind. And what this call is basically trying to do is clear up some of the confusion or rumors, or just kind of answer some of your questions that you might have because you're hearing about a new MLS or a different MLS, a competing MLS in our market. And ultimately, we want to clear those questions up and make sure you guys are aware of what is coming. So this presentation is mainly going to be focused on the Roam product. And I'll tell you what Roam is. Roam is basically your Gsrein product that you currently use, your Gsrein MLS. The Roam product will include 4 new MLSs very soon. Hopefully in the next month or so, you will have 4 MLSs inside of Roam. Those MLSs would be your Gsrein MLS product that you use currently. It'll be the Baton Rouge MLS, the Central MLS, and the Bayou Board, which is the home of Thibodaux Grand Isle area. So those 4 associations or MLSs are joining with us in this Roam product to roll out, and that represents 12,000 of the 15,000 realtors in Louisiana. And I'll say that one more time because it's an important point. 12,000 of the 15,000 realtors that are inside of the state of Louisiana practicing realtors are going to be inside of the Roam product here in a month. And what that means for you, nothing really is going to change. It's not going to be any dues increase. There won't be any changes, any new forms to fill out. Basically, you're going to log into your Matrix product with your same login information very soon, and you'll see all of that data, including, and importantly, the historical data. So if you feel comfortable in practicing in, let's say, Grand Isle, you will be able to pull up Grand Isle listings and solds over the last, as far back as that MLS goes, with historical data. So you will have full range to practice in those states. We are basically removing all artificial boundaries that have been there. Ginger is going to go into a little bit of the history and how we got here, and we'll turn that over to Ginger now.
Thanks, Craig. Again, thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to learn a little bit more about Roam. How did we get started, and why is this even happening? Well, it's been a number of years, but back in 2017, Louisiana Realtors sponsored formal meetings with an outside national consultant statewide for brokers and owners, association leadership, and association executives to discuss the vision for the future of Louisiana MLSs. Several broker owners had voiced an interest in wanting a statewide MLS. Louisiana had 9 MLSs and 10 associations when the meetings all started. Associations were mixed on the idea of one MLS statewide, as they felt there was no need for them to cross borders when they really didn't have cross sections of business. For instance, the Shreveport-Bossier area felt that they had no crossover with South Louisiana. If they were going to do a merger or work with other MLSs, they felt Texas and Arkansas were the fit for them. Subsequently, they are now a member of Netris, which is a Texas MLS that has merged, and Shreveport is a part of that. The Monroe area felt much the same, that they really didn't have any overlapping areas, and they have not said they would not participate in a statewide MLS, but they've not made any commitments. Then you had the South Louisiana part and the central part of the state, and there were differing opinions, but the South Louisiana part with New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Houma, Thibodaux, Lafayette, we all have a lot of areas where we overlap. We overlap with Houma, Thibodaux, we overlap with Baton Rouge quite a bit in our areas, and we have agents working in both of those areas. So we did have interest, but at the time we were not certain how to make that happen. So the brokers during this meeting, they brought up several pain points that they felt were the reasons that they really did want a statewide MLS. They felt that we needed solutions that met consumer needs for access to accurate and complete real estate information. Realtors are licensed to list and sell across the state and should have access to all real estate information statewide for one fee and eliminate a duplication of services. A single point of entry for listings regardless of the location. Statistical data be accurate and consistent. They wanted uniform rules, policies, and enforcement that benefits realtors. Efficient and cost-effective local associations as service organizations, and brokers have choices for software and services. We feel that Roam MLS addresses all of these pain points and can provide a cohesive MLS with all historical data and without disruption to realtors and their daily business. But before I get too much into Roam, the state meetings ended up that we heard everybody and nobody really came to a consensus how to continue. So in late 2018, a group of broker-owned, a small segment of brokers, they announced that they were going to form an MLS. Nomar and Gsrein met with them on a number of occasions to discuss with them our abilities to work together. In the end, Nomar Gsrein felt that without association-owned ownership, that we could not partner with Greater Southern. In early 2019, several groups who now make up Roam, we got together in Baton Rouge and started working to see if we could start at least have a regional MLS with the hope of expanding statewide. Those groups, as Craig said, are the Bayou Board, which is Houma, Thibodaux, Greater Baton Rouge Board, and Central, which is Alexandria and Natchitoches. The neighbor board was involved in the meetings, but in the end, they determined it was not the right fit for them. So we started working. We have an operating agreement, and we have established, and as we said, we should be able to roll out within a month all your residential data, and by early 2022 we will be fully functioning, and you will have access to all MLS information for one price. And again, we feel that we've really met the broker pain points. Craig?
And also, I think you might have mentioned it, we have met as a group with like Lafayette Board, the Fort Polk Board. We have met with them. They have not made any decisions either way of what they're going to do. They may just stay put with what they have. But we have welcomed all MLSs that are in the state to join this Roam product, and we hope they do. And once we go live here in the next month or with the residential data, and they see how this is running and how great it is, we hope that they will join us. So hopefully we'll kind of continue that entire Interstate 10 thoroughfare from here to the end of the state. What we're going to do here is we're going to show you a live look in of what your matrix product will look like come next month with the residential data, and then ultimately in Q1 of 2022, what it'll look like with all data, residential leases, commercial, multifamily, all of those will be in 2022 in Q1. But this is a live look in, there's some audio to it. And basically what they're going to do is show you what you currently do. If you were in matrix product and you ran a search in Baton Rouge, for example, they're going to show how many results are in that search. And then they're going to also show you what it's going to be here in the next month or so when all the data is combined. So Bud, if you're ready for that.
Today, we're going to be talking about how the New Orleans matrix system is showing you listings today for Baton Rouge and Houma, and what it will be like after the Roam listings are in your system, and how easy it will be for you to be able to look at listings in all of the different MLSs that are participating with Roam. In our example, we're just using Baton Rouge and Houma, but this will be true for all of the different listings that are in any of the systems that are part of the Roam system. So I'm searching today for active, pending, open predication, and the last 6 months worth of solds. And I've put the city of Baton Rouge and Houma in there in order to be able to get it. If I scroll down and I go ahead and execute it, I can see I'm only going to get 53 listings. And on my results, I then see each of the different listings that are available. Again, 53 right now are meet that criteria. Now, if I go after for what is going to occur when the Roam listings are all available is the fact that I'm going to search active, pending, continue to show, open predication, and the last 6 months of sold as well. I'm going to do Baton Rouge and Houma again, and this time I've got over 1,200 listings. So I'm going to come to my results screen and you go, well, how is that going to be different? It's really nothing more that you have to do when you look at the system. You're just going to be searching like you would today, and more listings are going to show up. So in order to be able to know where that listing came from, some of these Baton Rouge listings that are coming from the Greater Baton Rouge Association of Realtors, and they have a prefix in their MLS number as of BR for easy identification. You can see here, though, that there's still the New Orleans system listings, and that those are still there as they exist today with their numbers. And also the Houma listings are coming in with the Bayou, and they start with BB for their Bayou Board of Realtors. So that way you're able to see all the different listings together. It's easy. I added the city and the source of here, but that's not necessary because, like I said, the MLS number is going to tell you everything about it. So what's going to happen is you really don't have to do much of anything. You're going to be able to see all the listings in one place in the system that you know of, and you don't have to enter listings twice anymore or be a dual member because those listings are going to be there for you automatically. Thanks a lot for seeing the vision of where Matrix is going to be.
So that's a little insight on what it's going to look like here. And let me just kind of put this out there because we haven't mentioned that. This product, this Roam product, doesn't necessarily help anyone that may not be practicing in other parts of the state. If you're centrally Metro New Orleans or North Shore and don't have a need for Baton Rouge or Houma, however you want to say that, you don't have to do anything. Like these listings will be in your MLS. Just like if you were a Metairie agent that doesn't want to see anything in Belle Chase, like you just don't search it. So there's no harm here. And this larger MLS may not benefit you with the means of searching in other regions, but it will benefit you with the products that we're going to be bringing in to help you. So I just kind of wanted to recap that for you. This isn't necessarily for everyone when it comes to searching in other parts of the state, but our brokers have asked for that, and that's what we're going to supply here. Again, LaTanya's over there typing away some of the questions and answers we have. So keep those coming. We'll answer some of them live that we might see repeats of. And Ginger, are you ready to answer?
Yeah, I am. Thanks, Craig. We have one question that asked, what are the benefits of being exclusively association owned versus association and broker owned? The benefits are Gsrein currently, NOMAR, we currently have 1,084 brokers participating in our MLS. The broker-owned MLS has a very small number of brokers that are owners, and that's statewide. And so that gives, in our view, a smaller voice. Having all of the members represented on an association owned, we represent everyone. Everyone has a chance to run for the board. Any broker owners have chances to run to be on the Roam board and participate and have a voice. But we feel that the association owned represents all members and not any just few entities. It really wasn't given we really haven't been given an option to do a shared association and broker owned, but you know, they want it, I think the groups wanted it broker owned or, you know, just a standalone association on, but it represents just a very small group of agents.
And I'll add and remind that the Gsrein has been in existence for 26 years, running an MLS and operating an MLS. So it's not necessarily a startup like some competing MLSs might be. So there's a big advantage here in keeping our association run that knows the ins and outs and the back end of running an MLS. So that's something else to keep in mind. Susie, I think this might answer your next question, but I was going to it in our presentation. What can you expect next? There's no increase in dues. In fact, this could be a dues saving. So if I can explain this to you, and this is a business model that you and your broker may have to decide, but for an example, I am currently a broker in New Orleans as my primary market, and I also have secondary inside of Baton Rouge. I come possibly if I'm good with just residential data, or if I want to wait until 2022 when all data is in there, I could essentially pull out of that Baton Rouge MLS and no longer need to pay an extra subscription fee over there with them. So it's actually going to save me money. I can just stay inside of New Orleans or inside of Gsrein and not have to pay duplicate dues. There's plenty of brokers that have membership in each one of those 4 associations. Those brokers can ultimately choose one of the associations to stay involved in and use that product and only use that product. So you'll have a single point of entry, one product they can train on. All those things will take place here in the next month, and then ultimately with all fields in the next 6 months or so. So that's just a cost savings that you can look at for continuing to stay involved with the Roam Gsrein product.
Craig, I'll also add here, if you are a member of the Roam product, you also will have access to all of the properties, lockbox systems, and everything. You will have the home of Thibodaux, Alexandria, Natchitoches, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, not having to get a lockbox for each area. So you will have access provided for all of their properties. And we did have a question if, I think LaTanya answered that. Yes, Alexandria and Natchitoches are a part of this group.
Next thing you'll keep in mind is the staff and the customer service, the training that you currently might use either in the North Shore office or in the New Orleans office here is going to continue to be your point of contact. So if you contact Rosemary or Allison or Melissa for MLS questions, they're still going to be your point of contact, or Missy, you'll still have that point of contact. If you want to come inside of the Metairie office to do training on the new Matrix features, that'll still take place here. So just keep in mind that this MLS, this Roam product, will continue to remain local and inside of the Metro New Orleans and North Shore areas. Also wanted to kind of give you an update on products. The same products that you use inside of Gsrein, you will continue to see inside of Roam. So for example, if you're familiar with using the Cloud CMA, Showing Time, Instanet, Authentisign, Realist, Remine, Property Panorama, Rent Spree, all of those products that are currently inside of your Gsrein product will roll up into the Roam product here that you're going to be using in the next month. But in addition to the fact that the 4 MLSs are combining together, we're going to also be able to have the ability to bring in new products that may not have been here before. And we're going to have a larger buying power, remembering that we have 12,000 agents that are now going to be inside of this product. So new products will be RPR, which is going to be a great product for flyers, for CMAs, for getting that information with a professional look and touch outside to our agents. And then the other product that plenty of brokers have requested, and that'll be, let me not forget, RPR is rolling out, I believe, on the 24th of this month. So next week, you'll see the RPR product inside of your dashboard. And then the other product that plenty of agents and brokers have asked for us to incorporate is the HomeSnap product. You will see that here very shortly inside of Matrix. The use of HomeSnap will allow you to have free access to the leads that come off of your listing from qualified prospects. And it's also a great portal for agent and client interactions. And it does itself include a great CMA product as well.
Craig, I'm going to answer a couple of these questions that seem to be coming up quite a bit. It was mentioned that agents are going to have to start paying to be associated with 2 MLSs to have all access to all the listings. We hope very much that this does not occur. Currently, no broker has pulled any data out of Gsrein MLS. We have all of the data for all the listings in our area currently served by Gsrein. And we don't anticipate for a good while you having to do anything further. That is our greatest fear. No more Gsrein. We have all of the historical data. We will be the one source that will always have all of your historical data. And our biggest concern is that if somebody pulled out, that it would cause a fracture in the data. And the one thing we want is to keep intact our historical data and be able to service all of our clients. But as of today, you just have to stay put in Gsrein. It will become the Roam MLS, and you will have access to all data. And at this time, you do not have to join another MLS. Those that are in another MLS, they are putting them in their MLS, but they also have to put them in Gsrein. And so we have all of the historical data and we have all of the listings.
And I'll add on that, and I might actually repeat things because this is a really important topic and it's a scary topic. It's something that plenty of us as agents and realtors probably don't want. We don't want a fractured MLS. So the Roam product has met around the entire state. We have met with appraisers. We have met with brokers. We have met with agents. Anyone we can get in front of an audience, just to let you guys know that everything is inside of our MLS still. There's no need to fracture an MLS with another MLS. Now, there might be another competing MLS that feels a need to start it, but just so you know, and just like Ginger said, we have all the listings inside of our MLS. The problem we're already seeing, and the problem we're seeing with the fractured MLS, is the fact that some brokers and agents are in both. They feel like it's important to be in both MLSs at this point, and they have joined. And what we're seeing is, I think I've had 5 examples in the last week of listings that are showing up on realtor.com or some public portal that are showing up as active still, or maybe they're still showing up as pending. And a client calls you and says, hey, why is this listing showing up? I don't see it in my product, my Matrix product. The real reason behind that is they had not changed it. If you look inside of Matrix, it's showing as sold, which is the proper data. Our data is clean, and we take pride in making sure the data is clean, and you guys take pride in keeping that data clean by clicking the button when you see a violation, or just for yourself to know, here are the rules and I want to make sure and abide by them. So we all do a good job of keeping that data clean. And the other MLS, which the Gsrein Roam product has no jurisdiction over, may or may not have ironed out those kinks yet. So what we're seeing is that product is showing up on realtor.com from that other competing MLS. So again, remember, it's sold and not inside of ours. You can go inside of the Gsrein product and see the correct, or what 99% of the time is the correct data. And then we have to go research and find out why it's still showing up in a public portal. And of the 5 times just last week, it showed up as coming from another MLS outside of the Gsrein MLS. But again, our data is the clean data and it's correct. And unfortunately, we have to now go back to our consumer, our client, and tell them, here's why we have this. The data is not correct. The property is in fact sold. And hopefully the other MLS cleans that data up, but we again can't control that. But if you do bring it to our attention, we will try doing our best to make sure that someone over there reports that and gets that done. But for now, there's no need to join any other MLS. There's been a lot of pressure from the other MLS to join and make you feel like you have to join. You do not have to join. There's no reason you have to, and everything is inside of here. And we've talked to the other MLS several times over the last couple of years, and we'd like to think that we've solved all their pain points. For the most part, the things we talked about with the single entry, one set of rules, one MLS to train on, we've solved that problem with this Roam product. You no longer have those obstacles to overcome. We have removed the artificial boundaries. Your state license, why can't you practice throughout the state? Well, now you can with this Roam product. And the volunteers that have been involved in this for the last 4 years or so have worked really hard on helping out the 8,000 agents that are inside of the Gsrein product. I'll also say, and I brought it up to the broker meeting, last time we had a brokers meeting, we were supposed to have a forum with the other competing MLS about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Both sides had agreed to have a forum for our brokers to meet with and ask any questions they see fit at this forum. The forum was being put on by an independent broker who was in his data gathering stage of trying to figure out what to do in this conundrum of a fractured MLSs. And he wanted to have both parties involved. He was actually, Eric Hernandez with NOLA Living was the forum moderator. He was the one actually funding the rental of a room and inviting everyone to attend this. So if you have any questions about this and want to ask him, please feel free to reach out. He is glad to tell you what his experience was. But ultimately, about a month before the forum, he had set up rules and set up how he wanted this to go. And the Gsrein Roam product agreed to it. We had Rob Larson flying in town, our consultant. To flying in town to be at the forum. We had our 8 panelists ready to answer any and all questions at the forum. The other side, in the days before the forum, decided to pull out of the forum. And the way Eric would tell any of us is that they wanted the questions. The other side wanted questions prior to the forum. And Eric said no, in a state of trying to keep these things transparent. He wanted to answer questions and let brokers ask questions from the floor, and the other side did not agree with that. In addition, they did not agree to the fact that we had 8 participants in front of the audience to answer questions. So ultimately, the other side pulled out, and we cannot control that. So we wound up having the forum as well, with just answering questions for Gsrein and Roam. And that's something you will see from any of the Roam Board of Managers that are in here and staff. We answer any and all questions. If it's on Facebook, if it's here on this forum, if it's a phone call, we do not shy away from any questions, whether it be financials, whether it be product, whatever it might be. How did we get here, and why are Craig, Ginger, and Latanya on the screen? We answer those questions. So if you have those questions, we answer them, and we try looking out for you guys as the 8,000 agents out there.
So Craig, let me answer a couple of these questions. I know Latanya has answered them, but in case you're not reading, one of the agents asked about the problem of, are we worried that the other people might pull out and not put their listings in ours, or do we foresee that coming? What we say is, if someone pulls out today, there are so many brokers that are not moving to the other MLS. They are staying in Roam. So if they pull out of Gsrein, their agents will only have access to what is in the other MLS. They will not have access to thousands of listings. They do not make up a majority of the Gsrein listing population. So their agents will suffer because they don't have access to all the listings they should have. That's why I feel it would be very hard for them to just up and pull out. There are plenty of brokers that have no intention of leaving Gsrein. Gsrein has been here. They have done a great job. And, you know, while not perfect, everybody says that, you know, we don't like this or we don't like that. You're not going to like everything for every system, but we do try our best to do the best in the interest of our agents. Somebody just said also that they're confused. We're saying 12,000 of 15,000 members. The 12,000 of the 15,000 members will be members of Roam, and Gsrein will be a member of Roam. Currently in Gsrein, we have about 8,000 members. So that's where that number came across. When you merge and when we roll out all residential properties at the end of summer, which is coming up shortly, you will have all of Baton Rouge, Houma, Thibodaux, Alexandria, Natchitoches, and New Orleans counted together to make up that 12,000. Okay, let's see. One more question.
While you're reading that, I'll break
okay.
down the numbers for you of the 12,000. So Gsrein's got just below 8,000. The Baton Rouge board has about 3,700 realtors there. The Bayou board has 415 roughly, and the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has about 446. So when you combine all those forces together, you have about 12,000. That's the eyeballs that are going to be on your listings when you enter it inside of Gsrein MLS. So just keep that in mind. That's another buying power for or selling power for your listings, is that many more agents are now looking at your listing from all over the state inside of a MLS and not a public portal.
Okay, another question. I don't think y'all get it. This shouldn't be about protecting turf. We have already been out-competed by Zillow and other financial tech companies. All I hear is finger pointing. At least the other guys are moving forward just to get it done or get out of the way or get out of the other guy's way. Well, first, let me say, Gsrein Zillow had an opportunity to get your listings. Every broker had to agree to send the listings to Zillow. Gsrein did not make that decision. That was a decision by each broker, and it was kind of demanded by the public, but that was not a Gsrein choice. The next thing is we very much feel that we have done and made the pain points. We don't feel that this is a turf issue. We feel we have expanded our issue, and Gsrein is the largest MLS in the state, but we are willing to cooperate with 3 other smaller groups to bring our people a larger, more expanded service area. And we're doing so at a lower cost than anyone. And we really do not we have a different view than the person asking this question. And we feel that we feel that's just not accurate. And we feel like we have the stamina and we're here to stay.
I want to answer this one live here. The question was, does Houma does not use the Supra lockbox? How will they be able to access their lockboxes with our system?
So Houma, Thibodaux, and the Alexandria, Natchitoches area both use a different provider than what Baton Rouge and New Orleans use. We have already worked with those providers, and there will be a code that you will be given when you go into showing time, or however you make your appointment. You'll be provided a code that you'll use on those lock boxes. So everybody is already working on that, to know that we have to, do something to bring the 2 systems together.
I'll ask another one that's been answered, but we're going to go ahead and question it again, just so everyone can hear it. How long will the other competing brokers have to put in the inside of their Roam product? Like how long do they have their listings to be entered in if they're entering it into another MLS? Do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, they will have to always put them in the MLS as long as they are members of Gsrein Roam. And if they get out, as I said before, their agents will lose access to maybe 75% of the listings in our area.
But ultimately, the question might have been more about the 24-hour rule. So if you were to go ahead and if you were to in both MLSs right now, if you're a member of both MLSs and you wanted to enter a listing in the other side, it has to be inside Gsrein within 24 or within 1 hour. I'm sorry, I said 24. Within 1 hour of being listed in any other competing MLSs. So within an hour, it has to show up. So there's a very small time period that the product listing will be out there on a public portal without being inside of your Matrix product. I think keep the questions coming. We basically have kind of gone over everything. It's not that complicated because of the fact that we are staying inside of Gsrein Matrix product. Like it's not very much different than what you see now. It's just going to be a more eyes on it, more associations involved. You'll have the ability to list properties in these different areas if you want, and then the combination of products that we're bringing in. So on the back end, this is not very easy. We had to combine rules and make sure that they all matched up and combine contracts that have already been pre-existing. So it's really very complex on the back end of this. And we have all kind of tackled that in different committees. But for you guys, it's going to be pretty seamless. So that's why there's no flashy presentation that's going to show you what you already know. It's Matrix in itself continuing on. Or if you're in Baton Rouge, it's going to be a Paragon product. The MLS product in Baton Rouge is Paragon. So there's no need to give you a demo on those sort of things. All the products that we have plenty of questions and answers and demos on those products if you wish to attend those Zoom calls now or come into the Nomar office and learn those.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have another question that I'd like to answer live. Please know that I have been asking for years for Nomar Gsrein to give us what NAR has been saying that we as members can get, which is RPR. I have been ignored and are told, no, we don't offer it. Why has it taken this new competition for Nomar Gsrein to offer it? Well, just to be frank, Nomar Gsrein, the Gsrein board has always, until recently, been comprised of, broker owners or broker managers that ran for the seat and were elected by other brokers. In addition, it had 2 seats that were held by large brokers because of the number of agents they had in our area. And recently, they are no longer a part of our board. When they were a part of the board, I can tell you that nothing of that sort ever passed because they did not want these products because they were offering other things on a local level. So it really hampered us. And I think a lot of the management and owners of those larger companies have realized that you really can't fight it. You need to join it. And I think the new MLS may be offering it as well. But we tried numerous times to get different products and services, and it was defeated. So now Gsrein has recognized that our agents have wanted this, and we are going to provide it to you.
We had a question about these were earlier in the chat section. So if you can try using the Q&A button down at the bottom of your screen, not the chat. We hadn't really been monitoring the chat questions, so we missed a few of them in here, but the Q&A is where the questions should be. And we may have answered these because these were from earlier, but I'll recap it again. When these things are going to be live, I think Charles and Ashton had asked that question. The residential data will be go live this summer, which is basically the end of September. We have said that from day one, and we are sticking to that it'll be right near that date, not anything longer. We're not making promises here that we can't deliver on. We're working like heck to make sure that this is done for that period of time. That's for residential data only inside of Matrix. You'll still, if you're inside of Gsrein, you're going to still see all your commercial and residential leases and things like that. You'll still see that for this market. You just won't see it for the other MLSs that have joined us. You will see all of that in Q1 of 2022. So in 2022, you will see all of those commercial listings inside of Baton Rouge and Central and Thibodaux. You will see those in Q1 of 2022. But come next month or in a month or so, you will see residential data in there. Do you want to answer this question about the other? So there's a question about the existing MLSs that are involved and maybe not Lafayette, Lake Charles, DeRidder. The question would be, like we spoke about earlier, we have met with Lafayette. Lafayette has not made any decisions either way. So basically they have 3 decisions. They have a decision to join Roam and be solely with Roam. They have a decision to join a competing MLS, or they have a decision to stay where they're at. At this time, they decided to stay exactly where they're at, and they haven't made any decisions either way. We hope they will join Roam. And I think basically they're just going to, at a point that they would like to just watch and see how this happens. They have the hard boundaries that are water or landlocked, if you will, and they don't necessarily have to do anything because there's not a whole lot of overlap over there. So they have the luxury of kind of just staying neutral and seeing where this goes. As far as other MLSs, they could join either one of them or stay in their own. I think Ginger had mentioned Shreveport joined a Texas one. So no one will ultimately have the entire state, as they are inside of the Texas one as well. As far as renewals, if you're receiving your renewals from other MLSs like the Baton Rouge MLS, you're not in a place to kind of turn that off at this point. Even next month, as we keep saying, you're just going to have that residential stuff. So if you want to have everything, that needs to be a business decision that you would probably wait until next year to make a decision of pulling out of one and just kind of staying in one if you want all of the data inside of one. Do you guys see something you wanted to answer?
You want to answer one, but can you tell us where we can go?
Yeah.
In answer to Jody's question, can you tell where we can go check out the difference between Remind and RPR? I will talk to the head of Gsrein and get you an answer to that, Jody. We will get that out to you. But RPR and Remind, we're going to have both of them offered to you. I think Remind probably pulls in a lot of integrated data from other places and maybe does a few things differently. And RPR, it has a lot of products to help design beautiful presentations and things like that, maybe more than Remind would. Remind's more on the data. But I will get you an answer to that this afternoon.
Yeah, with RPR rolling out next week, there will be, I'm sure that Gsrein is going to be putting together some training on that and more information on it. I don't necessarily see those two as kind of being the same. The RPR product is more for like listing presentations, for prospecting, for investment analysis. Reading off of some notes here. That's kind of what the RPR product is versus a Remind product is more of, like Ginger said, like tax data, likely to sell, those sort of things are inside of Remind. Yep. You got something, LaTanya?
Hi, I've seen. Yes, sorry about that.
Nope. Sorry. Turn this off. We'll go back to what we
Little
had.
technical questions here.
So go ahead, you all can answer.
Which one? Are we talking about this, the one that's on the screen now?
One of the things that's on the screen that LaTanya was going to answer, thanks, because our broker said if we wanted to have our listings sent to Zillow, Realtor.com, we may have to join both. It is a broker decision where your listings are sent. And Zillow, for your information, Zillow is now a broker. And so they get the same IDX feed that your broker gets. So they don't get the feeds like they used to get before they became a broker. So they have companies and people in just about every MLS in the United States, but we do what the broker wants with their data.
Bud, our staff member here, had chimed in on the chat and said that there will be 2 training webinars for RPR in September, both for brokers and owners and agents. So as that RPR product gets rolled out, please get yourself into that. I'm assuming that's going to be a webinar. So get in there and see how you can utilize RPR to benefit your business a little bit more. I don't see any other questions being asked. So I'll kind of wrap it up and let you guys get on with your business, and just kind of remind you that this is important for all of us. We've put in probably 10 to 15 hours a week, all of us, the board of managers here, the 3 of us here, as well as Donna Chandler, who is not in attendance today, but all of us have been working on this for about 3 years, and we're doing this as a benefit to our members here at Nomar and Gsrein. And it's ultimately our brokers and agents that are using the product, and we want to make sure we're making them happy. So we're going to continue to work hard on this for you. We're again, volunteering to come into your offices, to do Zooms, to meet with you individually, phone calls, texts. Quite honestly, it's taken a lot of our time, but it's something we're all very passionate about. And ultimately, we want the best product out there for ourselves and our agents, and that's what we're working for. So again, we appreciate you all attending. If you have questions and answers, please feel free, or questions that you need answered, please feel free to call us, text us, get in touch with us any way you know how. And we'll be glad to get any more confusion out of the way. And we'll continue chugging along here with the Gsrein Roam product. Thank you all.
Thank you.